I'm happy to be here. My name's Jeremiah. I come from a little poor town called Aberdeen, Washington. Okay, they can smell the poverty on me. That's not good. It smells like copper piping and fentanyl. That's what it smells like. For those of you that don't know, Aberdeen, Washington is a little poor town in Washington where Kurt Cobain and Nirvana came from. Yeah. It's a town so shitty and poor it created grunge music. You're welcome, guys. So, but it was really annoying as a kid growing up in that area because nobody that knew that place, everyone that knew it because of Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. But Aberdeen had more going for us than that because Aberdeen, Washington was recently voted the ugliest city in Washington. For the third time in a row, so don't come for our title, you will get robbed at needlepoint, guys, okay? All I'm trying to say is where I come from, those tents have front porches, they're staying, okay? You take one look at a guy that looks like me and you don't know where I come from, a lot of people will be like, hey man, you need to check your privilege, because not everyone's from a gated community, jerk. And I'm always surprised, I'm like, how did you know I'm from the only gated trailer park in Aberdeen? The only other gated community where I come from is Stafford Creek Penitentiary, so I'm doing all right, In summary, my hometown, Aberdeen, has a motto, like every hometown has a motto. My hometown's motto is a Kurt Cobain song, Come As You Are. But based on my research, maybe don't come as you are. Like maybe try a little harder, fucking please, dude. I was in Spokane not too long ago. I said I was from Aberdeen. They booed me. You know how bad your hometown has to be? Don't feel bad. We earned it. But I think if I had to pick the hometown model for Aberdeen, I think I would pick something fun and creative, but also brutally honest. Like I think I would pick, for my hometown motto for Aberdeen, I think our motto should be, welcome to Aberdeen. We put the win in heroin. But nothing beat what came in second place, because if you lived in Aberdeen when they were picking the hometown motto, you actually got to vote for what you thought it should be. And I shit you not, my favorite was what came in second place. It was, shoot for the stars, not your veins, Aberdeen, Washington. So just in case if I say something a little over the line, I can't even read. Relax, guys. So, I don't know, growing up in that little area as a kid in the mid-90s, I always got bad advice. When I was a kid, every time I got hurt, my parents would be like, don't worry, Jeremiah, chicks dig scars. And I wish they were honest about what scars chicks actually dug. Because I've never once been laid off of those emotional scars, okay? Like, no chick has ever came up to me in a bar and been like, you were raised in a trailer park and denied food stamps? We gotta fuck right now, are you kidding me, dude? But I still get bad advice, My friend came up to me not too long ago. He's like, Jeremiah, you do comedy, dude. You gotta burn sage. Because burning sage is super good luck. But no one ever bothered to tell me that burning sage, I own myself, was considered really bad luck. And I learned that way too late when my cat died. Yeah. So rest in peace, Sage. I'm gonna miss her. Kill my cat in that joke. Yeah, you good on that? Yeah. You guys were like, we like dark jokes. And I was like, dead cat. And they were like, no. Oh. I'm going to light you on fire after the show if you don't laugh. It's a comedy show, dude. Relax, dude. You're not in danger yet. It got aggressive. I'm sorry, dude. Shit, dude. I don't know. My dad in that area when I was a kid, he was an EMT, he was an ambulance driver. So the way he described his job to me as a kid was he said that driving an ambulance is a lot like driving a taxi, except you don't get the tips. Which is a shitty analogy, right? Because I don't think driving an ambulance is anything like driving a taxi, but I do think driving an ambulance is a lot like driving DoorDash. Because the whole goal of either of them is you gotta get the delivery there before it gets cold, You said you like the dark jokes, man. That joke's a good barometer to see how cool you guys are. Sage, buck up, buddy. It's gonna be a long one. Oh, man. I happen to be doing comedy for money, for 3 years now. It's a lot of fun. I've been fired from almost every other job that I've had. Why was that funny? All right, fuck you. I got fired from a job one time for drinking and working, you know? I got called in the boss's office, like, Jeremiah, you can't be drinking and working. And I'm so much fun. I'm like, who's working, you know? I got fired from a job one time for calling in sick too many times with herpes. Got called in the boss's office. He was like, Jeremiah, your attendance is spotty, and this is a reoccurring problem. Like, I think that's how herpes works, dickhead. Fuck off. It's very ableist of you. I'll see you in court, dude. Alright, that take didn't work. I have had good jobs. I don't want to come off like I was complaining the whole time, you know. Like, I've had good jobs. One of my favorite jobs I ever had was I worked at a daycare. Finally, I was the smartest dude in class, you know. But I don't have kids, thank God, but I learned a lot about kids working at a daycare. Like, I learned there's two main types of kids. There's kids that hate getting dizzy, and kids that fucking love getting dizzy. As I call them, the future alcoholics of America. Because just like regular alcoholics, those future alcoholics do not know when enough is enough. I'll be getting them dizzy, I gotta give Billy a life lesson, you know? I'll be like, Billy, we puked twice. We're getting close to what we call a blackout, okay, buddy? Now what we're gonna wanna do from personal experience is we're gonna wanna lay down and take a nap. Because if we keep going, we're gonna shit our pants and get arrested, okay, buddy? Bremerton parties, that's I can tell a few of you have shit your pants and gotten arrested here by those laughs. All right, sir, that was an admission of guilt. I got probably the worst burn I've ever gotten in my life the other day. I had a good day. I wanted to go get a nice bottle of alcohol. So I went to an alcohol store. I got a nice bottle of Tanqueray. I put it on the counter and it slid up to the cashier. And the cashier took one look at me and she was like, DoorDash, right? Which was the sickest burn I've ever gotten in my life. Because that means she took a look at me and assumed that I can't afford that bottle of alcohol. And also assumed that I don't have a real job. And how did she know both of those were right, actually? So, all right, that one didn't work like I thought it would. I thought you guys with the Aberdeen stuff would be like, he's poor, fuck him. But then I saw Bremerton and I was like, oh, they might identify with me a little more than I thought. I've had good jobs. My favorite thing I've ever done for money was I sold weed for 12 years straight. That's fun, you know. I worked in a dispensary for part of that time, and I learned a lot about people working in the dispensary. I've heard the dumbest questions you could imagine selling weed in Aberdeen. Someone came into the weed store one time and he said, hey man, I need the weed that's the closest I can get to smoking crystal meth. I didn't think I needed to tell people that I just sold regular ass weed, you know? Like I sell the type of weed to make you stand in front of your fridge at night naked. Not take apart your fridge at night naked, okay? Yeah, people will come in, they'll say dumb stuff all the time. They'll be like, I've been in pain for 37 years straight. I need something to take all the pain away because I haven't had anything work yet. And then I gotta get real with them and look them in the eyes and be like, have you tried heroin? See me in the alleyway after my shift. I can get you some relief, okay? I'm a bit of an entrepreneur myself, you know? After the show, I'll be selling heroin. So if you see me after the show, if you're in chronic pain, some of you guys look like you'll take me up on that. I'm not selling heroin after the show. Yeah, I don't know, dude. One of my friends came up to me not too long ago and he said, hey, Jeremiah, I got sober. And I was like, good for you, man. I'm proud of you. And he said, yeah, Northwest sober. And I was like, what's that? And he was like, that's when you only do pot and mushrooms. I was like, oh, you mean not fucking sober. That's what you mean, dude. Can you imagine if I tried to pull that shit and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm Wall Street sober. All I do is Adderall and Xanax now, yeah. Doesn't work like that, dude. She likes the Wall Street diet. That's fun. She's on Adderall right now. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate the laughs. Weird things happen at the weed store, dude. Something you probably might not expect working with chronic smokers across the counter from them is every once in a while, if you sell weed long enough, someone will cough in your face. Which, like, I haven't heard socially etiquette-wise what to do in that situation, but I think I should be able to, like, fucking duel to the death after that, dude. What the fuck? I was helping this sweet little old lady one day, and she looked me straight in the eye and stuck her tongue out and went, yeah. And I wasn't expecting it. My mouth was open. She fucking coughed in my mouth, dude. And I don't know what the social etiquette should be for that, but it should be different. Like, I should be allowed to kill herself and myself at the same time, dude. I can't continue living with that happening. Okay, we got really sad right there on that. I don't have an ending to that joke, but I wanted to kill her, so that's all I'm trying to say. Feels better to say out loud, honestly. The dumbest thing I've ever heard in a weed store, though, it takes the cake, is someone came up to me one time and they said, "Hey man, what can I do to make smoking weed more fun?" And I was like, I don't know, pick what hole we blow the smoke out of. That'd be fun, you know? It wouldn't be fun to smoke weed with anymore, though, because I'd be trying to take those bong hits and penis queef them, you know? You look horrified. I'm sorry about that, but I looked at you when I said that. It was weird. Just tiny little perfect O-rings, though, you know? Just... I don't know. I was smoking weed the other day, and I was thinking, like, why can't men queef, you know? And I think it's probably evolutionary why men can't queef. Because, like, no dude would ever get laid in a million years if he could fart out of his dick, you know? He'd be trying to light him on fire. That's dangerous, dude. We can't be doing that. Like, no little boy would ever get anything done if he learned if he pulled his foreskin tight enough, he could play it like a kazoo, you know? Like, you go to your son's room and you hear hot cross buns, you're like, I'm going to the kitchen. Fuck this shit, dude. What the fuck was that? But I'm hip, I'm with it, you know, I'm 30 years old. I can't use slang anymore. It comes off hella cringe, bro. But I like to keep up with the slang. I like to keep up with the trends. And on TikTok not too long ago, I saw a trend that I thought was really interesting. It was vabbing. Oh, you know what it is? Are you vabbing tonight, ma'am? You want to tell them what it is, or should I? All right. What vabbing is it stands for vagina dabbing. And yeah, and what ladies, you know, what the ladies will do is when they want to bring a fella home for the night, they'll take their fingers and they'll put them in their vagina. I looked at you again. I'm sorry. That was... Must be your aura. I don't know. But, you know, they do that, and then they use the juices as pheromones to get a date. I was like, finally, a perfume that smells like yeast. I'm in, guys. What, am I the only one that likes sourdough here? Fuck you guys. It's an acquired taste. We call it the Aberdeen Special, okay? So, I'm not shitting on vabbing. I want to see how the trend progresses, you know? Like, are the best vabbers going to be able to bottle their scent and sell it in Macy's and Kohl's? Like, this is Kim Kardashian's new scent, Midnight Snatch, for the late night catch, ladies. You can tell I thought way too much about this bit. But no dude would be able to get away with, like, mushroom stamping or whatever we'd call it, you know? Like, no dude would be allowed in a nightclub if his neck looked like a lifeguard's nose, you know? Like, all right, I'm gonna move on. We're drawing the end of that bit. Got health insurance, I'm not bragging. I went to the doctor recently and I got a blood draw. I'm no stranger to a blood draw, I have some illnesses. I know exactly how it goes. They put the little thing around your arm. It's like a, and then it's done, right? I have this little technique. I don't like needles, but I never look, and I never had a problem. But then I had one of these nurses, maybe you had one of these nurses before, that it wasn't like you put it around your arm and then it was like you put it around your arm and it was like, you ever have one of those? Where it was like, I counted to 5 Mississippi, and then I was like, what the fuck are you doing down there, dude? And then I looked down there and forgot that there was a needle in my arm, and I started to feel really fucking funny. I was like, oh God. And she was like, sorry, I'm just having a hard time finding your vein. You have what we call Aberdeen veins, completely collapsed. I started to feel really funny, dude. Like I started to get all pale and sweaty. And she looked at me and she's like, you look really pale. And I was like, fuck you, I've been tanning, okay? But then I started to feel really weird, dude. And then I started to stand up because everything started to go wonky. I just had to get out of there. And she was like, are you okay? But what I heard was like, are you okay? I was like, I was trying to get out of the chair, and the last thing I remember was the nurse turned her back to me, to the other nurse, and she was like, he's about to go out. And let me tell you something, I went out, okay? She was right. I fainted like a housewife seeing a mouse in those cartoons. I was like, ooh! Right in the middle of the doctor's office and God and everybody, dude. It was a really weird life lesson for me, because that had never happened before. I had never passed out, I had never fainted before. But this weird experience happened. It let me know I was a true man. I was a true male, dude, because when I came out, I was pure lizard brain, dude. I was swimming back to consciousness. My prefrontal cortex wasn't even working. I was surrounded by 3 hot nurses. One of them was rubbing my chest, and the other one was going, sir, can you hear me? And I'm 100% man, because when I came to it, I said something every single man has said before. I came back to consciousness, and I was like, that's never happened before, I swear to God. What the fuck was that? Ladies, how we doing? All right, hey. Some guys are really quiet right now, and I'm wondering why. Sir, Sage, has that happened before? No, don't answer that, okay? But I've had a lot of blood tests done. I got a blood test done one time, and the blood results were really interesting to me. It came back that I was 100% that bitch. All right, we got a bad bitch in the back. Thank you, sir. I'm kidding. I tested positive for hepatitis C, though. Yeah, shout out Aberdeen, if you will. Yeah. And at this point in the act, people were like, what, Jeremiah? Were you a drug addict? Did you share needles? No, I came into contact with Hep C the old-fashioned way. Eating butt, all right? I'm kidding. I don't know how I came into contact with Hep C. Shout out Aberdeen. And I was scared. I made a doctor's appointment as quick as American medicine would let me in, you know? So 6 months later, I was seeing my doctor for the first time. And he was surprised at the results because it actually came back that my immune system's so strong it actually fought off hepatitis C. He was like, it's like you have the antibodies, you can't pass it on. He said it's like I have a vaccine that doesn't exist. Is that a fucking Star Wars shit, dude? Was it Star Wars? You think so? It's your fucking ringtone, dude. Don't fucking deflect at me. How old are you? I want to see your face. Are you younger? It's her? Okay, checks out. That checks out, actually. I'm sorry, ma'am. You're fine. Someone's probably dying. You should take that. You ever notice that, like, Star Wars is kind of just boomer anime? You ever see that? That one was for you, ma'am. I love you. Thank you for that. But yeah, Hep C. Where were we at? Hep C. Yeah, I have the antibodies. Can't pass it on. I'm sure like a whole group of 70 people are wondering why I'm telling everyone about my Hep C. And it's so that you know after the show I'll be selling Hep C vaccines, ladies. Okay, so one little prick from this needle, you will be invincible. So. Speaking of little prick, I got a nephew that I love a lot. He's a good kid. He comes from a religious family, and although I'm not religious, I don't hold it against him. You know, I try to play into his lifestyle. And for last holiday, he came up to me and he said he wanted a religious Lego set. And I didn't have the heart to tell my nephew that Lego definitely does not make a religious Lego set. I just went out of my way and I made him the one and only Passion of the Christ Lego set. And it's super realistic. He gets to build up that little Lego crucifix. And he gets to beat the shit out of Lego Jesus. And gets to hang him on that crucifix. Which is his favorite part, because he's Jewish, guys. So. That joke splits the crowd sometimes. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. I do comedy all over. I was in Portland not too long ago. I was doing comedy, so during the day I wanted to kill some time. Thought I'd go to the Portland Zoo. I like zoos, it's fun. And I was amazed at what I learned at the Portland Zoo. I learned in Portland, even the animals on fentanyl. It was crazy. 3 p.m., broad daylight, they're all sleeping. It was a real problem, actually. I saw a zookeeper and I was like, dude, I want my money back or what they're on, okay? Seriously. But I learned a lot at the zoo when I was there, man. I was in an elephant exhibit and there was a little billboard to teach kids. And on the billboard it said, do you have a nose like an elephant? Can you smell sample A or B and tell which elephant is in heat? I was like, dude, why is Portland trying to teach kids what horny elephants smell like, dude? Like, I get keep Portland weird, but I feel like this is a little too far, okay? But I was thinking to myself, like, maybe this is important information for kids, dude. Maybe this is something in their generation they're gonna have to deal with. There's gonna be a kid out in the field somewhere, and he's gonna sniff the air and be like, fucking run, dude, they're coming. Literally, actually. I learned a lot at the Portland Zoo, dude. When I was there, they had a black bear exhibit, and I didn't know this about bears. I don't know if you knew this about bears, but bears can blow themselves. What majestic creatures. Everyone was disgusted. This bear was blowing himself. Everyone was leaving. I know what it feels like to walk a whole crowd. I stayed and watched. It felt rude to leave. The part where I got in trouble was when I started throwing dollar bills, actually. It was just muscle memory, I'm being honest. But I like, and then later on, I saw this meme on the internet that said 90% of women lost in the forest would rather come across a bear than a man. And it immediately made sense to me, because bears can blow themselves. That immediately takes away half the threat, All right, that was end of that. Got a dog. I love my dog. You guys pet people here. You like animals? Yeah. I love my dog. I named her Carl. And you heard me say that right? I named her Carl. Really confuses people too. People are like, wait, did you say her name was Carl? Why did you name her Carl? I'm like, I think it's because she doesn't fucking speak English, dumbass. Like, I could name my dog anything. I could name her, and she would come, The only problem is when I came, the dog would too, All right, that was a new joke. Fuck you guys. I recently got a VPN, and I don't know if you guys know what a VPN is. I didn't know what it was when I got it. Turns out it's a way that you can hide your location when you're on the internet from everybody else. It's a lot like what I did back in the day to my parole officer. Just hide your location from everybody. And as soon as I got it, I realized that I could be different parts of the world. I'm a man of science. I wanted to see what the rest of the world is jerking off to, Okay, we pulled back pretty hard on that. I wanted to see what Egypt was up to, dude, Besides peeking before Christ. I hopped over to Egypt. I didn't know what to expect to see. Someone get a pyramid ran on them. I don't know. Turns out the porn's the exact same. I was very disappointed. Just stepsister shit. Very creepy, actually. I don't know. What was different in all those different countries every time I switched it over was, what different every single time was the ads for the porn. Every single different country was different. I switched it to the Middle East and there was an Arab chick in a full burqa with her tits out, just screaming at me in a different language. And it turns out that's what I needed the whole time, She's been spanking my hog to commercials from around the world now. It's great. All right, we hated that joke. I'm gonna move along. I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years. I love her very, very much. She's a great woman. She's a very adventurous woman too. She keeps me on my toes. Like, she likes her food, like she likes her sex, spicy. But just like the food, the sex, it leaves my ass hurting in the morning, guys. But being a straight dude in a relationship for 7 years, I had to pick up new hobbies after a while, So I picked up a new hobby recently. It's flirting with dudes. How's it going, handsome? Yeah, over there. You're looking good. Yeah. Started out as a joke, but then I quickly realized how badly dudes need compliments, you know? Like the default reaction every time I call a stranger handsome is for him to be like, me? Stop it. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, the older the guy, the more they appreciate the compliment, too. I said, what's cooking good looking to an old guy the other day? He kissed me and gave me a hug. What the fuck was that, dude? It was assault, was what it was, actually. It wasn't just gross. But here's my PSA in my set. If you didn't learn anything from my set, they were all jokes, but I want ladies to take this with them. Ladies, compliment dudes. We need it, okay? Yes, sir. Here's how it works. Compliment dudes, stop a school shooting. That's how it works, actually. That always splits the crowd down the middle, too. Some people are like, wow, Jeremiah, did you mean that? Yeah, call me handsome after the show or fucking else, okay? Sage, you're not on good ice, so, you know, I'd really butter me up, okay? Just kidding, you're safe, dude, you're beautiful. Why was that funny, ma'am? He is handsome, goddammit. That wasn't a punchline. I'll kiss you later, dude, I swear to God. I was driving through my hometown not too long ago, and I saw a reader board that said April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, which I think is stupid, because those kids are well aware, you know? We like dark jokes, fuck you guys. I can tell you weren't hit as a kid, by the way, you didn't laugh at that. But I think we are running out of things to be aware of on those months, right? Like it started out with important stuff like February's Black History Awareness Month. And then by the time they hit April, it was like, please, maybe just don't, I don't know, beat your kids in April. Like, what parent is that advice for? And they only don't hit their kid in April, you know? Like, my dad's a redneck from Montana. If I tried to tell him that he couldn't hit me in April, he would stock up year-round, okay? I came out with it. Now you guys know. Now you know how to judge me. Half my family came from Montana. And when I was a kid, they would take me to my family ranch in Montana to learn how to buck hay and scoop shit and be a man. One of my least favorite chores at the end of a long day was I had to give my aunt a shoulder massage. Yeah, which was one of my least favorite chores because after a couple whiskeys, she got a little into that shoulder massage. Yeah, if I hit that knot just right, she'd be like, ooh, yeah. Which was weird, dude. I don't know what the hardest part of that was besides me, okay? It's a little Montana humor. Relax, guys, relax. But seriously, at 12, I didn't have the communication skills to tell my aunt, please stop, that makes me uncomfortable. So at 12, I did the only thing I could think of to make it stop, which is make it extremely weird for both of us. And so when I hit that knot just right, my aunt was like, ooh, yeah. I just leaned in her ear and I was like, yeah? And it worked way too well, actually. Like, she still hasn't talked to me, so. But everyone knows my dad's a hard guy to get along with, you know. My mom knew that as a kid. She would always take me to her friend's house, Eric. And Eric was a kind, sweet, loving guy. He was the opposite of my dad. So the feelings I had for Eric were confusing as a kid. One day I went up to my mom and I was like, Mom, I think Eric should be my dad because I love Eric more than Dad. And she handled it super well. She was like, shh. I love him more than Dad too, don't fuck this up. Which is extra funny as an adult because I got a paternity test done and Eric is my dad, so. Alright, since you guys said you like dark jokes, don't be fucking liars. I wanted to tell you guys this joke. This is my favorite joke. Don't be pussies, okay? This is my favorite one. I recently got a new phone number, and the person that had the phone number before me died. It was weird. It was a weird situation. Why did you clap for that? That was also weird. I didn't know what to do when the mom texted me, dude. She sent me a text that said, honey, I can't bear to delete this phone number. I love you. I miss you. Fly high, Mom. And I didn't know what to say to a text like that. But I learned immediately what I should not have said to a text like that. Because I just said, love you too, Mom. And she was fucking pissed. Had no choice but to ghost her like her dead daughter after that, guys. Fucking kidding. I sent her a dick pic instead. Is that better for you? Jeremiah Hughes, have a good night. Thank you very much.